I could be like, oh yeah, man, they really got us. They got us zip locked up.
Yeah.
You go, we're zip tied. Ziploc is a, like the plastic like sandwich bags. It's not even. You're not even saying it right. Yeah, but we're locked up, and it's zipped. It's a zip. So I mean, we are zip locked. Okay, we're zip locked. Quiet down.
No one intervened on behalf of...
Good. Jim Overton, and I'm Trey. And today, we have
Salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff. Or if you're Trey,
Money!
Oh, God. Create shit.
I don't know, what if you had 60 chickens?
An inch and a half, that's about that.
That's about there.
You said it with confidence.
Hey kid, that limp was pretty good, but that wince was money.
You just had him throwing a goat, and in midair he's just like, ah!
Well, I don't know what sound a Barry Manilow makes. You know what a hawk sounds like, right?
I do. It sounded like you were trying to say a word. Jody in the Soapbox is opening for Retro Garbage tonight. We gotta get there, man. We gotta get tickets. The first thing we're gonna buy with our gumball money is an animated butt.
What just chaps your nipples? Like, what is it?
What is it, boy?
I don't know, son. It's just a joke.
Gary Bankston.
And today, we've got our hands absolutely full. Salutations, good people. Welcome to the CS Podcast, where we create stuff. Or if you're Trey, create shit. And today, we've got our hands absolutely full with another fun topic.
Yep.
And today's topic is what, Trey?
What would you do in a heist situation?
That's right. This is Friday's episode. Hope you had a fantastic week. We're getting you geared up for the weekend. And what a good way to kick it off by talking about some hypo madness.
We're throwing some theticals at you.
Yeah.
Hitting you with some theticals.
Photosynthetical. Something Bo Burnham. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, so on this past Monday, go check out that episode when you're done with this one, if you haven't.
Yeah.
Checked it out already.
Or check it out now. I don't care. You're still listening to us.
Yeah, you're still listening to us, so YouTube's going to be nice to us.
It'll kind of gear you up for this one because we talked about Payday in that one.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ah.
It ties in really well.
That is a good point.
That was not
intentional.
I was going to say it was not the plan, but it worked out nicely.
It was not hypotensional.
Yeah.
But
hypertension.
This is hypothetical.
It is.
So, what would you do in a heist situation? What does that look like for you? What's going on in your head?
Yeah, you're framing it up. Now, I will say, like, your typical heist, your bank robbery, whatever, in real life is not as dramatic as the movies or the games make it out. Usually, you know what I'm saying? You don't hear about that, like, Bonnie and Clyde kind of stuff nowadays, especially with, like,
security.
Technology. I was going to say, yeah, security the way it is. I mean, just to rob a bank now, you're never going to get away with it. Like, it's just impossible. But so I think that's something to keep in mind with this frame of mind. You might not even know it's going on, honestly. It seems that the move is kind of walk in and, maybe slip a note like, hey, put the money in the bag or I'll kill everybody. Like, the tellers are trained, from my understanding, to not even, like, to not escalate.
Sure.
So that nobody dies. So to just do whatever the demands are and don't draw attention.
I would think that would be common sense to begin with.
It's interesting. The better question is how many heist situations have you been a part of that you had no idea were going on? That's a cool question to think about.
That is pretty cool.
That something could have gone on under your nose, and then, a week later you hear about it in the papers or something, like, oh my God, that bank guy, oh my God, I was there that day. Like,
right.
That'd be cool. I mean, I guess not cool. It's interesting.
Yeah. Man with a red beret hat.
Yeah.
And, a scar on his right cheek.
Yeah. I remember him.
I was making fun of him. Yeah. I called him Scarsy McGee.
He could have killed me.
Got in the car. Yeah.
He was Omni Pretzel.
God.
I actually read a couple of years ago, there was a Reddit, like an Ask Reddit thread, like an Ask Me Anything. And it was like a former bank robber. And that's how he would do it. He'd go in. That's how he would rob banks, and he was pretty good about it.
With red berets and a scar on his face?
Yeah, it was wild that even got brought up now. He'd go in, and it was just like he'd slip the note to the teller when he was, like, he'd write it on the back of the deposit slip or something, like, give you the money. And, like, he'd hop bank to bank or something. It was an interesting Reddit thread. I know I've said interesting a lot, but this whole topic intrigues me.
Yeah.
God, I wish I could pull that up and draw from it. If anything, go find it and just read up on this guy. Because he was like, I mean, he made a killing, and he was like, yeah, you never go for like
killing.
Yeah, he knew, like, you never go for like big bills. You always do small bills because the big bills have like the ink packs. Like they'll hand you the ink pack. It was this whole thing. Like it was
okay.
It was incredible. Like just the amount of knowledge that this guy had, and then he ended up serving jail time and stuff. But it was pretty cool.
Nice.
But yeah, and like a traditional like high stakes, high octane heist like you'd see in I don't know, in Payday or in the movies.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would probably try not to wet myself. like that'd be terrifying. Somebody comes in like. I don't know. It may be like we've talked about this on an episode previously when we were driving and that truck kind of spun out in front of us on the highway.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Hit and went over, and it almost didn't register. I was like, I just looked at it. I was like, that's not right.
Yeah, that truck shouldn't be doing that thing right now.
Somebody comes in and like they're waving a gun around for a second. It might take me a second to go. I'd probably look at it and go, that's not right.
Well, this is real life.
Yeah, like that shouldn't happen. And then click in my, I go, oh shit.
Well, when David and I got hit by that car, when we were spinning, it was just like I didn't get like a concussion. I don't remember if I even hit my head because my window was rolled down, so my head didn't hit the window. But in that moment of spinning, it was like I know it's happening, but it was such an out of body experience.
Well, it's like Shanna Stoker on our episode. We had her. She had that wreck where she went into an 18-wheeler, I think.
Yeah, but she was actually physically like hurt really bad.
But she also had that kind of out of body, like it didn't register for a second. Like she had a near death experience. Like it fucked her up. But
yeah,
it's funny how the human brain responds in that way. Unless you're trained to deal with those situations, the average person, I guess it's shock. It's just your body it doesn't comprehend for a second. It's like it doesn't. What?
Well, do you think that's the brain's way of protecting us?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a way of not allowing us to go into shock.
Yeah.
Which I mean, some people will.
Yeah.
But it might be the brain's way of being like, okay, take a second to process this. Don't freak out.
Yeah.
Like acknowledge it. Like maybe those few seconds that you've got of this isn't real. I'm not in a heist. I'm not about to be held, hostage for a period of time.
Well, and what's wild is it probably feels longer than it actually is.
Oh yeah.
That's another thing that, like that time is stretched out.
Yeah.
And it seems like it takes 5 seconds for you to realize, oh my God, this is happening. But it probably processes in like half a second.
Yeah.
To a second. And I think it does that because you need, like, it's probably kind of an evolutionary standard in the sense that, like, we didn't want to get eaten by tigers when all we had was, sticks.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we had to make those, we had to take a second to process and go, stripes? Oh God, that's a tiger coming at me to eat me, to react and,
do the right thing rather than do the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Which some people's reaction isn't the right thing always.
And it's not, I think it's something that, I mean, we don't need that as much today because we're not in the jungle with lions and tigers. I guess lions aren't in the jungle.
Yeah.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, we're not threatened by much.
Yeah.
On a day, like realistically, we're not threatened by much on a day-to-day basis.
So when we are in a situation like that, it's kind of a weird.
It makes you wonder why that kind of training, like just a little bit of that training, isn't in schools
or just somewhere. Yeah.
What to do like, okay, most people
Yeah.
are going to be in some kind of wreck in their life.
Yeah.
Well, let me just dumb it down, not dumb it down, but let me scale it down to a more common occurrence, and that's, let's just say, being pulled over by a police officer.
Oh, yeah.
Like, have you ever been pulled over?
No, thankfully.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when...
But I'm like, oh, man, that's terrifying. Like, what do I do?
When those blue lights come on behind you, it is unlike any other feeling ever. It's this... It doesn't bother me as much now. Yeah. Like, if it happens, like...
Speedy Gonzalez get pulled over all the time. He's used to it, right?
Well, no, I've been pulled over for, like, a taillight out.
Yeah.
For, an expired tag.
Yeah.
Or for whatever reason, like...
I have not driving. Like, I've been in the car with some, like, Morgan. We got pulled over for, like, a taillight out. So,
okay.
Yes, but no.
And gotcha. So, I've been pulled over for, I think I was 16. I had just gotten my license. And the cop, bless his heart, he let me go with a warning. Because when he pulled me over, I pulled over on the side of the road. And I pulled over too far. I kind of went off into a ditch. And he was like... Well, you're having a bad night. I'm like, yes, sir. That was one, like, pulled over in a work vehicle for speeding because I was late on an oxygen delivery. I was delivering medical equipment, and he nailed me with 4 points and, like, $200 and something.
I've thought about that sometimes driving in the station van, like, if I'm, like, running a little behind.
I got pulled over in a station van.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah, on my way to Amanda's stupid event.
I remember somebody getting pulled over. I couldn't remember if it was you or not.
Yeah, I was the only, like, everybody said, well, if you're speeding, cops see in the radio van, they give you kind of a pass. I was on White Horse Road and got pulled over in the pink My 102.5 van with David, making it to Amanda's stupid event. Amanda, if you're watching, you can go jump on a lake with cinder blocks for shoes.
That's funny because it's now the lake.
102.5 the lake.
Yeah.
It's no longer My 102.5. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, and then she was still mad. Well, why are you late? I was rushing to get there on time because traffic, you moron.
Moron.
And then I got a ticket. And then she reported me because I was not even late. I was early, but it wasn't the 30 minutes early.
Yeah.
I do not envy her new husband.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Old Gilliam.
There's so many... Shut up, Josh. Anyways, your brain is...
Is that what you were doing? That's you in a heist, just real mad, pissed off.
Yeah. Well, see, like, that day, I got pulled over, and I'm like, I knew it. I was just ill.
Yeah.
It didn't even... It wasn't like, oh, no, a cop. Oh, what do I do?
I was Stan in you.
Yeah. I was like,
I was just Stan coming out.
Oh, God, the stories I've had to hear this past week.
Your outfit.
If you and your outfit.
Yep.
Throwing his hard hat.
Yeah, you'd have thrown your license at him. If you and your outfit.
Yeah. And your badge.
Yeah. Drove off.
Yeah. I ain't pulling over. I'll run out of gas before I pull over. No, if you've ever been in a situation where you've had more than one person talking about your dad and some kind of crazy thing that they pulled,
no,
it's a wild situation.
Yeah.
It's just like, well, that's dear old dad.
That's daddy.
And when his twin brother literally looks at you and goes, only Stan.
Yep.
Like, not even you. His twin brother. It's only him.
You guys had that kind of experience? Any kind of weird... You've been in that scenario with, like, dad? Leave a comment below.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
If... Do all that.
Yeah.
Right after you tell us about if you've had a near-death experience, body, anything like that. Comment. We want to talk about it.
Yeah. Or hit us up on Twitter at @OfficialCSPod. We can talk to you there. Or Instagram. We're on Instagram.
We totally will.
Yeah.
But I mean, you might get the official CS Pod responding to you.
You might get one of our accounts.
My personal, Trey's personal, or one of us. You'll probably get you from CS Pod and me from my personal account.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
Yeah, but speaking of our social media, follow us on Twitter.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok.
And let's go ahead and tell them that they should follow us on Apple iTunes.
Oh yeah. Hit us up on Apple Podcast. Leave us a
Apple
5-star review.
Sorry.
Tell us.
I don't do this. You do this.
Yeah.
Apple Podcast. Sorry.
Tell us whatever you want to tell us on that review, or just don't say anything at all. You can do that too. And then while you're there, head on over to Spotify next and follow us there. And yeah. I was wondering how long we were going to hold it. People were like, shit, what happened to the thing? Hey, guys, we'll get back to this episode in just a second. But as you know, here at the CS Podcast, we love featuring other content creators. And what better way to do that than to tell you about another podcast called Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast.
With host Philip and Nave. And right now, they're going to tell you a little bit about themselves.
Hello, dear listeners. Do you enjoy playing video games with your best friends? Then I have the pod for you. I'm Philip, host of the Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast. Each week, my co-host Nave and I break down a cooperative experience in gaming, and we are always looking for new co-op partners to join us. So come play with us on the Gaming Together podcast.
So I'm standing over this toilet taking a piss and I'm playing my Pokemon, and I dropped it in the toilet. I remember the Game Boy just tumbling into water. And I remember screaming for my mom, trying to get this Game Boy.
Wait, how
out,
old were you?
And she yelled at me.
Oh
I was
my
just,
God.
like, traumatized. I was like, no, my Pokemon.
That's Gaming Together, a cooperative podcast. Come on down, co-op partners.
So, with that being said, speaking of all those instances,
Yeah.
what would you do in a heist?
Me?
If we...
Or them?
You and I get taken hostage. We're like three to 8 men bust in with guns.
Yeah.
And sit down on the ground, put your backs against that little desk, and don't say a word.
It's funny because you posed this question to me, and you were just throwing stuff out, kind of like we were. So when we first started talking about doing these 30-minute episodes,
Yes.
you were like, oh, well, we could always do just like a topic.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, oh, okay. And the first one was the video game. Like, what's your dream video game? I was like, oh, it's a cool topic. And the next one was the heist. And I think pretty much the immediate thought was, I was like, what about a skit? Like a heist skit.
Well, we started talking about hypotheticals
Yeah.
in a skit situation.
Yeah.
In a hostage situation,
Yeah.
and then we realized like this could be a good skit.
Yeah, like so we it did roll into a future skit idea of
and it was hilarious.
oh dude, the whole video, it starts off with us being sat down, I guess, behind a counter. Mm-hmm. So like the way I picture it is like you see like, I'm trying to think of the best way to explain this. I can see it in my head, and I can draw it, but they're not really going to be able to see it. But, like, there's a counter here, and then, like, the top of the camera, like, the top of the frame is like this. Right?
Yeah.
So, like, it goes off like that. So you can kind of see the bank back here and stuff going on. That way, if people were, like, walking by, like, if they were masked men walking by, you could see them walking back and forth up here.
Right.
But the focus would be on us down here behind this counter as they place us, and we're like already zip tied, and they set us down, and we're like our backs are up against the counter. And like, sit there, be quiet, shut up, don't move. You know, like they give us orders, and we're like, okay. And what unfolds is just absolute insanity of us just sitting there having average, bizarre, everyday conversations. Like, you know, you're like, hey, what do you got in your wallet right now? And I'm like,
we imagine it like I was just the kind of the annoying one, and you're very like you're a little more anxious, and you're trying to get, but we don't know each other.
No, we have no idea who each other. Yeah, completely random strangers. Like maybe we sit down, and you're like, hey, I'm Josh. He said not to talk. You're like, yeah, I know, but. First heist situation? I'm like, yes. You're like, yeah, me too. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And yeah, you're like what do you got in your wallet right now? And I pull out, and I'm like, I don't know, like a couple bucks and like a Froyo gift card and like this. And you're like, hey, if they take you out, can I have that Froyo gift card? Like,
yeah. If you don't make it, you mind if I just kind of and then get that little card from you?
Yeah, whatever. Sure. You know, like that kind of dynamic.
Because, I mean, you're not going to need it.
The whole video is that.
Yeah.
Just it's just focused on us behind the counter. We'd have like some sound effects. Obviously stuff's going on in the background.
I just thought of one like I could be like, oh yeah, man, they really got us. They got us zip locked up.
Yeah.
You go, we're zip tied. Ziploc is a, like the plastic like sandwich bags. It's not even you're not even saying it right. Yeah, but we're locked up and it's
zipped.
It's a zip. So I mean we are zip locked. Okay, we're zip locked. Quiet down. He started talking blah blah blah, and I'm like, man, you almost got shot.
Yeah. What?
And you're like, just stop talking to me.
Part of me also, like, I think about, like, what if there's a twist to this? Like, what if you're one of the, like, what if you're in on it? Like, what if at the end they come and they clip you?
Yeah.
And they pick you up. They're like, I don't know. They're like, all right, Frank, you good? And you're like, yeah, I'm good, man. I was just messing with the, with the hostages.
He totally has all of your identities.
Yeah.
You should probably kill him now.
Yeah. You're like, why do you love to do this? Like it's something that you do every heist. For some reason that's just
so there's no point to it. Not that you're gonna. It's not that I was trying to get information from you.
It's just something you enjoy.
I wanted to screw with you.
You do it every heist.
Yeah,
this is like the 7th bank robbery that the 7th bank that they've hit, and every one you've had them zip tie you and sit you down with the hostages,
and they're like,
just so you could fuck with them.
You could have been a lot more effective with a gun in your hand, with a mask over your face. Instead, you want to talk to strangers.
And my first thought was you're the leader, so like they can't bitch and moan at you because you're the leader. But then I was like, what if you were like the leader's cousin? So like, he just keeps. They don't want to really say anything because then the leader's going to be like, he's like, hey, fuck you, that's my cousin.
Yeah. But like, just let him do what he wants to.
But then he kind of like, he's like, just let him.
He says, let him do what he wants to. It keeps him out of trouble.
Yeah.
Like it's not a part of a heist. Yeah. He's here. He's doing the family business. It keeps him out of trouble. He's a bank robber.
Yeah, but not really.
Yeah, but look at his contribution.
Yeah,
he's keeping this guy.
It's kind of a funny little. I don't know. It's kind of a funny twist.
That is a funny twist.
So yeah, it kind of branched off into that. I'm pretty excited for that. And that, I mean, we shoot it in front of a green screen, and
what if I'm sitting there, whether I'm one of the bank robbers or not, I'm just like, hey, you're like, what? You want to like switch shoes?
What size shoe do you wear?
Hey, what size shoe do you wear?
10.5.
Why does that matter?
Yeah.
Just tell me, what size shoe do you wear?
10.5.
It'll help us. Too. It'll help us get out of here. Okay, 10.5. Oh, me too.
You want to switch shoes?
How does that help us? Help us do what? Get out of here. It doesn't help us at all. Will you?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It feels very it reminds me of like a Key and Peele skit.
Yeah.
I feel like they oftentimes have that dynamic where one of them is kind of serious. It's either they're like both like over the top ridiculous goofy like the hat skit.
Yeah.
Where they just keep one up at each other with the hats, or like one of them is real serious and the other one's like an idiot like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Or just kind of, I don't know, aloof. I feel like I'm using that word a lot recently. But you get what I'm saying? Like, just kind of like, just in their own world. Like, it's just, they're there and this is kind of exciting for them. They really don't understand
You're
it
the
all.
Philip and I'm the knave.
Yeah. 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 There you go.
Yeah.
So that, I don't know. It very much feels like the more we talked about that, I instead of picturing us in that scene, I legitimately was picturing Key and Peele.
Okay.
And going like, okay, well, what would they like? I was kind of thinking like, what would that look like from their standpoint? Now, granted, they have a much bigger budget than we do. It would not be green screen. They'd probably have a set,
right?
And paid actors to play. Like that would almost be the funny thing is if like 85 to 90% of it took place at this counter, and then like another 5 to 10%, maybe it was just a different angle, like to the left or to the right, and we had like another hostage or two.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like behind a different counter, like off to our left. Like we're kind of sitting like it's like an L shape, you know?
Yeah.
And so they're over there. And so
I just thought about how it could end.
okay.
I ask you about the shoe or whatever, and then I'm like, you finally like, or maybe through the whole thing, you're like, shut up, quit talking, and then you're the one that gets, busted, or whatever. Like maybe you get like kind of punched in the face with the butt of a gun.
Yeah.
Like, shut up, and it's ow.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh man, that looks like it hurt. It's because of you that I got hit with this gun.
Yeah.
And it could just be like you get the crap beat out of you, and I'm the one like making you upset.
Yeah.
And then finally at the end, you've had enough of me, and you start fussing at me. Maybe you're like, I don't know, yelling obscenities at me.
And the people doing the heist are like,
yeah. Well, yeah, that could be one thing. They're like, man, you ought to take it easy on that guy, the robbers. But then finally at the end, they pick you up and they're like, all right, you're getting thrown in the bank vault.
Yeah.
And you're like, but there's no circulation. I'm going to suffocate. And like, that's the idea. Whatever, you get taken away. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, man. Well, then maybe the camera cuts to another hostage tied up. And right before everything ends.
Starts again?
No, yeah. No, it starts, or it ends with me going, hey, what size shoe do you wear? It cuts.
Yes. That's perfect.
Oh,
I love that.
And then it just goes dark.
Yeah.
And then it's, I don't know, whatever ending we have, and then you hear, it ends with the sound effect of a bank vault shutting.
Yeah.
I don't know. Tick, 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 tick,
Yeah.
tick, tick, tick. Hey, what size shoe do you wear?
Yeah, so like the whole time I see us framed with you on the left side of the frame, me on the right side of the frame, this whole thing, and then it's reversed. It's and then you turn, and as soon as you turn your head to look, it cuts, and now you're on the right side of the frame, kind of where like I was sitting.
Yep.
And there's some random stranger, like maybe Quaid or something, on the left, or Mannion on the left, and you're, hey, what size shoe do you wear?
Yeah. It's like, what did he have planned? Like, I don't know. I'm thinking like trying to reach something, like tying shoes together, trying to reach something. But what does the shoe size have to do with anything?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's so funny. I don't know what. I'm sure there's 100 funnier things that you could end with, but
no, I think that's the perfect ending. I legitimately think it needs to end with that. You starting with somebody else.
Yeah.
Like starting into somebody else.
And I'm just watching you get carried away like, oh.
Yeah.
Yikes. That sucks. And then cut me, next person. Hey, what's that shoe do you wear?
Yeah. I dig it.
What would be going through your mind if you were in that situation and you were like, it was like the movies, you get tied up.
Yeah, like that.
You get blindfolded.
I hope to God that I make it home. I think that's the biggest thing going through my head is thinking about like family.
I hope they get what they want.
Yeah.
And I hope that they're not here to kill people.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I hope that they don't get what they want and then kill everybody because they're just that kind of criminal.
Yeah.
Because I don't think a bank robber wants to murder people, or maybe they don't care. Because they're there for money. They're trying to live a
I mean that's
the
whole thing is you get in, get out. Like like the hostages are leverage. You don't kill your leverage. Like
right.
Yeah. Why would you? Yeah.
And whatever they ask for, the officials or whoever, they're going to give it to them so that nobody dies.
Yeah. And it doesn't even have to be a bank robbery. If somebody were to break into, like, God forbid, the radio station, you think about it, like, up there on the 10th and 11th floor, I mean, what could you do with all that broadcasting power?
That's true.
I mean,
yeah.
That's kind of like the movie Airheads, except they weren't malicious. They were just idiots. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of the same.
That's
same
Adam
premise.
Sandler.
Yeah, and Brendan Fraser, and I think Steve Buscemi. We were just talking about him. I'm fairly certain he was in that.
Ziggy. Who are the three main actors in the movie Airheads?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Wikipedia.org, Airheads is a 1994 American comedy film written by Rich Wilkes, directed by Michael Lehman, and starring Brendan Fraser, Steve Buscemi, Adam Sandler, Chris Farley, Ernie Hudson.
Oh, I forgot Chris Farley was in that movie.
Judd Nelson, Michael Richards, and Germantania.
Ernie Hudson?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
it's been so long since I've seen that. I don't recognize the name.
You don't know Ernie Hudson?
I'd probably know him if I seen him.
Ghostbusters. He was one of the Ghostbusters. Black guy.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that's Ernie Hudson.
Oh.
Ziggy. Who are the 4 original Ghostbusters?
Here's something I found on the web.
The 4 original Ghostbusters were Dr. Peter Venkman, Dr. Raymond Stantz, Dr. Ethan Spengler, and Winston Zedman.
Winston.
Did that answer your question?
Who played those roles? Okay, she just gave up.
Yeah, she's just like
Winston
Salem.
Winston Salem.
No, I don't know.
Ziggy. Who played Winston in Ghostbusters?
Here's something I found on the internet.
Winston Zedman was played by Ernie Hudson.
Oh, yeah.
I was right.
Yeah. We got our own little fact checker.
Our little... I don't know. I don't know. Never mind.
Okay.
Anyways.
All right.
Nice. So
yeah, I don't know in any of those kind of situations. Like I feel like the human reaction is like I want to go home. Like I want to live.
Yeah. So if you weren't blindfolded and you knew, let's just say you had a 50-50 chance of being a hero.
Yeah.
You could make a move and you could get up, you could maybe steal a gun.
Realistically, no. I don't think. Realistically, I don't think I would. But I almost feel like it feels like a man thing. I feel like a lot of guys do it. You have those like hypothetical situations you play out a lot in your head where like, oh, the hero, I'd do this and I'd do this.
Right.
I feel like it's very common. I've heard a lot of people daydream or like think through that. But I think realistically, I don't, until I was in that situation, I honestly don't know for sure.
Yeah.
I might if the odds seemed good enough.
Okay, so that was going to be my next question. Yeah. Okay, you're behind a counter, or they drug you behind a counter, you and a few other people, and let's just say there's 3 men.
Yeah.
With just ARs.
Yeah.
Or let's just say shotguns.
Yeah.
And one of them, you've been there for like 2 hours.
Yeah.
And one of them gets sloppy.
Yeah.
He sets the gun down
close enough.
10 feet away from you. And he walks to talk to another one.
Yeah.
You can tell the other one, they don't know the other one is not looking at you guys.
Yeah.
He's off, like,
whatever,
checking on something else. And you see...
It's the perfect setup.
You can tell, like, maybe you have the tiniest bit of knowledge about guns.
Yeah.
You can see that the safety is even off.
Yeah.
So you could maybe, if you're quick enough...
pick it up and just blast.
You know you could have at least 5 seconds to get over there uninterrupted and pick up the gun.
And we're assuming they're not wearing body armor.
Right.
Yeah. They're just there in a t-shirt or something.
And you know how to use a shotgun.
Yeah.
And you could crawl over and take that chance and save the day. Because you don't know if you're going to get out alive. You don't know if the other people are going to get executed or not. You could save the lives of everybody else.
I want to say that I would. Like, I legitimately want to say that I would. But then I think about it, I'm like, I've never killed anybody before.
Same.
Like, I don't know. Maybe in the heat of the moment I could pull that trigger, but I don't, like, I've never done it.
Yeah.
You know? I genuinely can't say for sure.
You know, I told you I had this weird premonition that I was going to be in a wreck.
Yeah.
That day that David and I got in a wreck. And we were going to be standing on the side of the road, the whole vision.
Yeah.
And it happened. And it was really odd.
Yeah.
And it's messed with me ever since.
Yeah.
I've had the oddest feeling. I don't know that I haven't had it in a long time.
That we're going to be in a heist situation.
No, just that, especially when I was living in Anderson.
Yeah.
I had all these visions of me having to defend my household.
Yeah.
And, you know, if somebody broke in, I had this weird, solid feeling that I was going to have to pull that trigger on an intruder. And it hadn't happened.
That's good.
You know, well, I mean, I've been here for almost a year, which remind me to tell you about the thing that I asked you to accompany me to.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Just a fun little idea in that process while, like, on our way to it,
okay,
from it, all that.
Deal.
everybody who is listening, you'll know what that is in the future.
Yeah. We'll get there. We'll get there when we get there. You'll know when we know.
I heard that about. Did you quote that from something?
No.
Okay, never mind.
I don't think so.
Right. Well,
not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Anyways, I can tell you about that too. But
Okay.
Yeah, just always had that feel like for the longest, like for years.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like before I die, there's been a lot of things I never thought I'd have to go through. I've had to watch somebody die.
Yeah.
That you talk about an out of body experience.
Yeah. Well, and considering where you were living, it's not a bad area, but it's also not
it's not far from
it's a hop, skip, and jump away from, like, you could throw a rock and hit the bad area, like
exactly, which I think is the case in most towns.
Yeah,
most bigger
yeah
cities, towns, whatever. You can be in a good area and not far from a bad area.
Yeah.
Like I was close to downtown Anderson.
Yeah.
And close to, I was a block over from all those historic, I was a block away from Anderson University.
Yeah.
Which is a nice school.
Yeah.
And on the same street as a bunch of historic homes.
Yeah.
But not far from really bad area.
Yep.
So I always had that feeling that I was going to have to do that.
Yeah.
But never had to. Hope I never have to.
Yeah.
I don't need any more trauma. Even though I'm sure it's coming my way at some point.
At some point.
It's me. It's my life. I can't go a week without something major happening. But regardless, hope you folks never have to do that.
Yeah.
What would you do in a heist situation? Comment below.
Or any kind of, like,
out of
I don't know, what would you
near death?
So the same question you just posed to me, like the perfect scenario with like, what would you guys do?
Would you play it safe, not risk dying, or would you want to nip it in the bud and make sure you and all the innocent folks get out alive? If you knew you could make that happen, would you be willing to do it? Would you be willing to live with that burden?
That's the part that I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
I listened to just a snippet from a Joe Rogan podcast about a ex-military who had to kill somebody.
Yeah.
And he said, oh, God, it was just, it gave me chills.
Oh, yeah.
He said that moment that you realize that they realize that they're not going to make it, he said you see it in their eyes where they give up.
Ooh.
And it's just, you see in their eyes that they know they're done.
Yeah.
And they kind
That's
of quit, so to speak, and it's helpless. That whatever this man had before and whatever he will have, you just ended it. So that's,
oh my God,
right? It's an odd feeling. I heard that and it gave me chills.
Yeah.
So I didn't mean for us to get that deep, but hey, if it jogs your brain, maybe it'll prepare you for a moment. Maybe you'll think about it hard enough. Maybe it'll prepare you just that much more. Yeah. It's a really wild thing to think about.
So go out, create shit.
Go through the drive-thru at the bank line. Yeah. Or at the bank.
Yeah. And live to see another day. Yeah. See another episode. Catch us on Monday.
CS, another episode.
Yeah.
Man, that was too serious. Fart and doo-doo, wieners
booty
and gonads,
cheeks.
And booty cheeks. All right. Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
I don't know. Go play a video game. Make yourself happy.
Yeah.
Create your own serotonin.
Do it. Create
now.
serotonin. CS.
Create serotonin. Hey, that's not bad.
That's what we do. We create serotonin.
We create serotonin.
You're welcome.
Welcome to the CS podcast where we create stuff.
You're welcome, Hero JJ Mush. I know you've been commenting recently.
Yeah.
We see you. We see you guys when you comment. We know.
Yeah.
I was
Thank
gonna
you,
say,
JJ.
Yeah. I was going to say, we see people, like, it's you. Your comments don't go unnoticed. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So we appreciate it.
Yeah. We will interact with you.
Yeah.
Just like we have. And we will continue to.
I was like, where do we segue from here?
Well, I guess we're going to wrap it up because we went over our 30-minute mark. But, I mean, we got into some
deep shit.
Nailed you guys with a deep question.
Nailed you right in the gooch.
a gooch punch.
It's funny, Nora. She can't say scooch over, so she goes gooch, daddy gooch,
daddy gooch, daddy gooch over,
jet gooch. It's so funny. Anyways,
that was Ayla talking to Jet. She was taught the word skadoodle.
Oh,
she was told, hey, tell him to skadoodle. So Ayla, holding her egg sandwich, took her little foot and just put it on Jet's like side of his face and just pushed him just like that. She went skadoodle.
He's probably wagging his tail the whole time.
Skadoodle. Skadoodle.
Oh, he's tenacious.
Well, and the whole time he's just going.
Yeah.
He was just getting pushed, and she'd skadoodle. So funny. Kids and dogs.
Yep.
What a great combination.
Yep.
With that being said, we will catch you guys.
We will skadoodle.
Catch you guys this coming Monday with another content creator.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. They're a good one. And we hope you guys have a fantastic weekend.
Yep.
With that being said, always been.
Get an outro.
Yeah. I don't want to go. I'm having fun. With that being, it's Friday for us. When's
Friday.
the last time we've spent a Friday night hanging out with each other, podcasting?
It is Friday, isn't it?
Well, I don't know that we've other than
like us screwing up and like time getting away from us and being like, hey, we need an episode.
All right.
We usually don't on Fridays.
Well, I mean, Friday nights and Saturday nights.
Yeah.
I don't know that we've recorded on a Friday or Saturday night since we recorded the episode formerly known
as two
over a year ago.
Memories.
Big Air Trampoline Park.
Yeah.
COVID. You catching COVID.
Yeah, I know. I don't know how you didn't. I was starting to get sick that night that we recorded. Like, my throat was scratchy and everything. I started feeling. So we went to a Mexican restaurant.
Yeah,
and it was damn good. But I was starting to feel off at that restaurant. Like, I was feeling I was like, ooh, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I ate and I was like, all right, I feel a little bit better. And then we went and re-recorded the episode. And then like 2 days later, it hit me like a freight train. I was like, oh. But yeah.
Interesting. Well, if you catch it, you're not supposed to have symptoms for like a good while, I think.
A couple of days. It's like 3 days or something. I think I was in studio with John Ellis that Wednesday, and then that was Saturday. And John Ellis texted us Sunday and was like, hey guys, I tested positive for COVID. Just letting you know, if you feel wonky, you should probably get tested. And I was like, oh no.
So that would have been enough time. That'd have been plenty of time.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know the science. I am podcast man, not science man.
Here.
All right.
And I have been the Scottish hush puppy.
Scottish.
The Scottish. I've been the Scottish hush puppy. And I got some food to go eat.
And until then, my ghastly gang, stay spooky.
Jordan create shit. Build anything. Make it real.
I've been getting dirty money, Jordan Belford. Stacking penny stocks while I'm flipping these birds. Sipping on Ciroc, trip 'em up with the words. I done popped the molly and I think it's be my third.